Hello students, good morning. Welcome to this session. In this session, I am going to explain about Introduction to Python Programming. Today I am going to cover all these topics. In that, first topic is History of Python and Python features, Python applications, and then I'll explain about the installation process, and then I'll run a program, and then I'll explain you the first basic program, and then I'll explain about the differences between interactive mode and script mode. After that, I'll explain about variable statements, indentations, and comments. Finally, I'll explain about keywords. Now we'll move to the next slide. The brief history of Python. So this Python language was invented by Gustav van Rossum in early 90s. So actually he started working on this Python from 1980s, and the first version released in 1991, and the version is 1.0 which was released on 1991. Now the latest version of Python is 3.8.5 released on July 20. Here version means the specific release with some more extra features. Why the name Python? So actually it is not a snake name, dangerous snake name, but actually Rossum was a big fan of comedy series, so that comedy series name is Monty Python's Flying Circus. So the name Python was adopted from the comedy series. So this is a brief history of Python. Now we'll move to the next slide. So he is Gustav van Rossum. Why the Python was created by Rossum? The reason is he wanted to create a language that should be easy to learn language, and code must be expressive with less number of lines. That is the intention of Gustav van Rossum to create this language. Now about Python. Python is a general purpose, high level interpreted interactive scripting language, and it is also an object oriented programming language. So here what is high level language? High level programming language means that language of writing computer instructions in a way that easily understandable and close to human languages. But actually this high level language can't understandable by the machine. So what machine can understand? Machine can understand only zeros ones. That zeros ones are called binary language. So we have three types of languages. Those are high level language, low level language, and middle level language. High level language means which is similar to the human language and that cannot be understandable by a machine. Low level language means which that machine can understand. That is called low level language. That is a machine language. You can simply call it as a machine language. High level language is similar to the human language. Machine language means it is called as a low level language which cannot be understandable by the humans, right? So this Python is a high level language. That means anyone can easily understand the language and anyone can easily learn the language because it is similar to the human language. Interpreted means I already told you that this Python is a high level language. That means it is similar to the human language which cannot be understandable by the machine, right? So to convert this high level language into machine language, that is low level language, we need a converter. That converter is interpreter here. So here interpreter is used to convert this high level language code into low level language, that is machine language. We have two types of converters. One is compiler and the second one is interpreter. So some languages are using compiler to convert the high level language into low level language. Some languages are using interpreter to convert high level language into low level languages, and some languages are using compiler and interpreter both. But all the scripting languages are using this interpreter only to convert high level language into low level language, that is machine language. So here what is the difference between compiler and interpreter? Both are used to convert the high level language data instructions into low-level language. Then what is the difference? So here difference between compiler and interpreter is compiler is used to convert the entire code at a time to the low-level language. For example, if a program have 100 lines, all the 100 lines are converted into low-level language. So it will generate one bytecode. That backup file will be generated by the compiler, which contains the machine code of the 100 lines, right? But here the disadvantage of compiler is compiler will convert all the 100 lines into low-level language. So with this we have a problem, that is debugging is a little bit difficult with compiler. But when we use interpreter to convert the high-level language into low-level language, so here interpreter work is at a time interpreter can convert one line. So first it will convert the first line of a program, or first statement of a program. Then it will go to the next statement. Line by line it will convert the instructions. So here the difference between interpreter and compiler is used to convert the entire code at a time into high level language to low level language, but interpreter convert line by line. That is the difference. And debugging is easy with interpreter, debugging is not that much easy with compiler, because all the errors will come at a time. So here interpreted language means your source code is converted into machine language, but only one instruction at a time. Interactive here, what is interaction? So interaction means interacting with people means immediate response, right? That means question to answer, right? So in the same way in Python we can get immediate response to our instructions using shell mode. In Python we have two modes, one is script mode and the second one is shell mode or interactive mode. So in this interactive mode we can get immediate responses. Later I'll explain about this shell mode and script mode with examples in the coming slides. Scripting language. So a script is basically a list of instructions to tell another program what to do. And we can simply say that script means some set of instructions. This scripting language is a programming language which is interpreted at runtime instead of being compiled to machine code. I already told you that scripting languages are using interpreter to convert that instructions into low-level language. What is object-oriented programming? That I'll explain you later in the coming classes. For general purpose, we can use IDLE. IDLE full form is Integrated Development Learning Environment. So this IDLE is used for general purpose, but for special purpose, we need to use Python frameworks. So here Python frameworks means Django, Bottle, and Orange, SciPy, NumPy, Pygame. All these are the frameworks of Python. Here framework means it is a platform for developing software applications. It provides a foundation on which software developers can build programs for specific platforms. So here we are using Django and Bottle for web development or web applications. So if we take Google using this Python for better searching results, and Netflix. So Netflix also using this Python frame to display the customer favorite movies or list out the favorite movies, favorite shows. And national security is also using this Python for cyber security analysis, and BitTorrent. So BitTorrent is also using this Python for scientific and mathematical computing. So this is also an application. So scientific and mathematical computing means we can develop scientific applications or mathematical computing applications using Orange framework, SciPy framework or NumPy framework. For example, NASA. If you take NASA, NASA is also using this Python for scientific related applications. And coming to the third application, this is desktop graphical user interface. So here to develop games or to develop some GUI based applications, we can use Pygame or Panda 3D framework. Python have some other applications like web applications, desktop GUI applications, console based applications, software development, scientific and numeric applications, business applications, audio video based applications, 3D CAD applications, and image processing. All these are the different applications of Python. And even if you take iRobots also using this Python for robotic vacuum cleaners. And YouTube also using this Python to share the videos, and BitTorrents also using this Python. So we have so many applications for each and every application have different frameworks. Okay, Python features. So Python is a fastest growing language nowadays because of the features of Python only. In olden days, people started with C language to learn the programming languages, but now people are using Python as a basic programming language to learn different languages because of the simplicity of the language. So here the first feature is a simple language which is easier to learn. So I already told you that Python is a high level language which is similar to the English language, and it is similar to the human language, right? So Python has a very simple and elegant syntax. It's much easier to read and write Python programs compared to other languages like C++, Java, C#. So Python is very easy to learn language because it is a scripting language and it is a high level language. So we can easily learn this language without any complication. So that is the first feature. And the second feature is free and open source. Generally, if you want to use one software, then we need to purchase it, then we can use it. But for this Python language, we don't need to purchase it. Directly, we can use it. So we can freely use and distribute Python even for commercial use. And at the same time, this Python allows us to make changes to the Python source code. So that's why this feature is more useful to the developers, because developers can make changes to the Python source code. And the next feature is portability. You can move Python program from one platform to another and run it without any changes. Here platform means operating system. For example, you want to send a Python code from Windows operating system to Linux operating system. We can easily run the program in any other operating system without any changes. So that's why portability means we can move Python program from one platform to another and we can run it easily without any modifications. The next one is extensible and embeddable. So here extensible and embeddable means suppose an application requires high performance. You can easily combine a piece of C or other language with Python code. So this gives your application high performance as well as scripting capability, which other languages may not provide out of the box. Coming to the next feature, Python is a high-level interpreted language. So I already told you about this point. Python is a high-level language and it is a interpreted language. High-level language means which is similar to the human language. At the same time, all the scripting languages are using this interpreter to convert the high-level language into low-level language. So because of this feature, high-level language and it is an interpreted language, both are very useful to the developers to develop their applications. So high level means which is similar to English language. So anyone can understand it, anyone can remember the syntax. At the same time, it is interpreted language. So interpreter can convert one instruction at a time. So we can easily debug the errors. And the next feature is large standard library to solve common tasks. So Python has a number of standard libraries which makes life of a programmer much easier since you don't have to write all the code yourself. So here Python has so many libraries, standard libraries. That means some predefined codes are available. So no need to write the entire code. So just we can copy that predefined code and we can add some more extra code to the application. So our work makes easy by these libraries. And Python is an object-oriented programming. So everything in Python is an object. So object-oriented programming helps you solve a complex problem very easily with OOPS. So here OOP means object-oriented programming. So that these OOPs are used to divide the complex problem into smaller sets by creating objects. Right? These are the different features of Python. Now we'll move to the next slide. So docs.python.org. So actually this site is very useful for documentations. If you want more information, please visit this site docs.python.org, and we can download Python software also from this docs.python.org. Now installing and executing Python. So we have so many softwares available to execute Python programs. So actually we can use this Python also, this python.org also to download Python software. But here I am using Thonny software. This Thonny IDE is also used to execute the Python programs. So follow these steps to download. This is the link. http thonny.org. Just type this in your search engine and download Thonny. I'll show you how to download this Thonny software. So Thonny Python IDE for beginners. So we can download it here. So for Windows this one, for Mac click on this, for Linux click on. So click on Windows to download IDE for Windows operating system. So select desktop. Actually I have downloaded this Thonny 3.2. Again I'm going to save this file. So it takes time. So here is the file. If you want to install it in your system, just double click. First click on next. Then I accept the agreement. Click on that. Next. Next. Install. Preparing to install. Now click on finish. So this is our Thonny shortcut. Now I'll tell you how to write a program and how to save the program and how to run a program. For that, first open this Thonny editor. So here I'll write a program. So I just want to print my name. So print parenthesis my name is Rajani. So this statement I want to execute it, this instruction. So to display my name, I'm going to save this file. So to save the file, just press Ctrl S. Or just click on this icon, this one. Okay, so here I want to save my files in a particular folder, that is Python folder. So I'll create a folder here. Right click on this go to new, then click on folder, and my folder name is Python. So now open this Python folder and write file name. So this is my first program, so I just give the program name as 1, and all the files extension must be py.py. That means it is a Python file. Now click on save. See here 1.py. This is my file name, right? So now I want to print my name. That is, my name is Rajni. This should be the output. So for that we need to run the program. So to run the program, just click on this run current script, or just press F5 to run the program. So this is the output. My name is Rajni. Okay. So in this way we can write a program, and we can save the program, and we can run the program, right? So if you have a laptop, just install this software, that is Thonny. But if you don't have a laptop, just install Python app in your mobile phone. So I'll tell you how to download it and how to use that app. To run Python programs in your mobile, just type Python 3 IDE in your Play Store to install that app. So select the first one, that is Py3, and install it. It takes few minutes to download. Now click on open. In this white space we can write our Python programs. So I'm going to print my name using a print statement. Print quotations, my name is Rajani. So I just want to print my name. So to save this file, click on this folder icon and click on save option. Just allow the Python 3 IDE to your device, allow it, and select a folder. For this, select internal storage. Here you need to create a folder, new folder. The folder name is Python. You can give any other name, but I just want to give Python only to store Python programs. Create. So folder is created. Now select folder. Click on select folder to save the file. So here this is my first file. So file name is 1.py is the file name. So all the Python files extension must be .py only, because interpreter can run those files only. Now click on save. So here 1.py is the file name. Now how to run the file? So just click on this icon, yellow color icon. So now the output is Rajani. So this is the output. Now again click on the back arrow. Now if you want to create one more file, again go to the same icon, click on new, and now I just want to print some addition. So print 2 plus 3. So same procedure to save the file. So go to the folder icon, click on save, and select internal storage and select the Python folder. And click on select folder. Now give the file name. So here this is my second program, so I just want to give the file name as 2.py. So I already told you that .py is compulsory for all the Python programming files. So click on save. Now I want to run the code. Just click on this yellow color icon. So the output is 5. Now if you want to close this 2.py or 1.py, just go to this folder icon and click on close to close the file. Again, if you want to open the same file, again go to that same icon and click on open option to open the file. So go to internal storage, click on Python and click on 2. So this file is ready to use now, right? If you want to run the files in shell mode, go to terminal. Here type python 3 and click on this arrow, blue color arrow button to press enter. So this prompt tells that it is ready to receive the instructions. That means the shell is ready to receive the instructions. So here I'll type one single statement. Immediately this shell will return the output 2 plus 3, press enter. So answer is 5. This shell mode is used to interact or to get immediate outputs or to get immediate feedbacks. We can use this shell mode. If you want to send these files to your friends or teacher, just click on file storage and click on all files and go to Python. So here are the files, just select those files and click on send option to send these files through WhatsApp or through Gmail. Okay, thank you.